Swamp Thing number 19, written by Charles Soule, art by Kano. This is the first issue of Charles Soule's run. We just finished all the Rot World stuff, and basically it all ended with Swamp Thing completely losing his human side, and now he is all plant, but like, not, sort of, kind of? It's hard to explain. So, we open up in Sudan, in a desert, and he's taken on like a cactus-like form, and he's like, a lot of stuff's been happening to me recently, and now that I'm kind of all plants, I feel different in the way of interacting with plants. Like, and then he gives like the history of like he was Alec Holland, and before that he was just a plant that thought he was Alec Holland, and now he's back to being a plant that actually is Alec Holland. But either way, he arrives at this desert oasis, and he's like, now that I am actually able to 100% hear the plants, like I can understand the way plants talk, all they really talk about is sunlight and dirt and water, but occasionally they say something interesting. Like, for instance, plants suddenly said, oh, there are men out in this oasis that are causing problems. So I listened to them, and I showed up. And as he's arriving, he's being shot at like crazy and trying to be stopped until he walks up on two men fighting, and he's like, this is wrong. What's going on here? And the guys start to run. And he just grabs one with some vines, being like, hey, I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to know, why is there an oasis in the middle of this desert? And they say like, oh, Cedar came by, Seeder. He came by and he set this up, and it's been a godsend for my village because it's the closest water source and vegetation source. It's been great for us. But then this other like warlord tried to move in and steal all the resources. So we're trying to fight him off. And Swamp Thing's like, okay, yeah, I get this is important to you, but it's against nature. It shouldn't be here. It's got to go. And he just waves his hand and it all just wilts away, to which point both sides start shooting at him. And he's like, yeah, they didn't like that. Anyway, I don't care. And he just flips over all their cars and such, and then disappears into the green. And as he's going through the green, he's like, this is comfortable. I'm good here. It feels like I'm simultaneously bigger than everything and yet smaller than the smallest seed, but I know that I'm acting in the green's best interest and not in mankind's, and that is something I'm kind of having to get used to because, I was a man and I still am a man. I'm just having trouble squaring my humanity with the actions I have to take in order to protect the green, because this guy, Cedar, he's coming up, he's forcing, and this isn't the first time he's done it. I've undone several things that he's been the cause of these oases and these different parts of the green that shouldn't exist. And I've had to undo them because it's not a pool that you can just add to. It's a web, and when you pull on one side of it, it unravels the other side. So I have to keep the green in balance. But either way, he needs to go to a city, specifically the Metropolis Botanical Garden, which he used to love to go to back when he was Alec Holland, but now he has to show up at night when it's all locked down because, he's Swamp Thing. But either way, he goes in and he's like, I want to talk to Superman, because Superman, I know he also has to do things that are theoretically against individual interests for the betterment of mankind. And we talked before. We talked in like issue number 1. So I want to talk to him again, and hopefully I can flag him down. And as he's walking through this botanical garden, he feels some trees calling out to him because there's a colony of rats that have made a home underneath the tree roots, and they're chewing away at it, killing the trees. And so Alec just waves his hand, expands their roots, and it kills all the rats instantly. And he's like, I should feel bad because this is like the grossest thing I've ever done, but I don't, because the green is just so happy that I did it and I saved their lives. So I don't know. It's something I need to talk to Superman. I got to square this, man. And as he's walking out, he sees Scarecrow breaking in to steal a rare flower. And he grabs Scarecrow's hand and he's like, hey, that flower is known for causing significant terrors and such. I don't think you should be taking those. And Scarecrow's like, oh, it's okay. I'm a behavioral scientist. I'm a doctor. And I was using these as part of a medicine or something. And the way you're talking, it sounds like you might be a botanist. And Swamp Thing's like, does Scarecrow really think I don't recognize him as Scarecrow? Are you serious? Dude, like, clearly I know it's you. And he's like, oh, well, as a botanist, I think you can understand that I'm up for the thing. And basically Swamp Thing's just stuck there like, do I do I kill him? Like, it would be saving the flower, but I don't know. Killing a person just sounds extra. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And as he's thinking about it, Scarecrow snips off the vine that was restraining him. He picks up a bunch of the flowers, and he's like, well, I've got my own things happening. If you read Justice League of America, that's a big hint as to what's going on there. So I'm going to leave now. Bye. And as he's walking, or as trying to walk away, Swamp Thing shows up in person now, and he's like, hey, stop. And so Scarecrow sprays him with toxin. He's like, it's not going to work, man. I'm made of plants. And so Scarecrow just cycles through like 5 more toxins as basically Swamp Thing makes the straw that's in his costume grow and start to like, strangle him more or less, until finally he manages to use a toxin that is majority carbon dioxide, which means that Swamp Thing's plants absorb it and he is actually knocked out. But as he knocks out Swamp Thing, there's a rumbling in Metropolis, and the entire city is all at once overrun by giant, like, vines and plants and such. It's crawling up all the buildings, it's invading all the streets, and then we just see Superman flying it over all, looking down, and he's like, oh, this is Alec Holland's fault, isn't it? So, next issue, Superman has to wake up Alec Holland, I guess. I enjoyed it. I think it was a solid issue because I really liked this voice for Swamp Thing. The previous arc, he was still a man. He was still Alec Holland underneath the vines and the Swamp Thing. And he, was emotional. He was very like, oh, I have to protect this. I have to save life. I have to do all that. But now he's lost that and he is 100% green. But he still he was Alec Holland. He knows he was human. So that's the current story is, am I working for humanity now, or am I working for just plant life? And I like him having to decide that. Just the sheer boredom he acts like. He walks up to these people who are fighting. He's like, I don't care about you. Like, I read some of these panels in the voice of Ron Swanson, where he's just, I don't care about your problems. Tell me what I need to know. And that's it. And I love it. So yeah, it's a solid book. I am liking Charles Soule's take on it as of now. We'll see if Cedar is an interesting enough villain to keep my interest, but at the very least, I think he has a grip on this. It's not so much about the horror of it anymore, it's just about the psychology of how does someone who used to be human deal with not being human anymore. And I like that. I think it's a solid take on it. So I'm going to give this one I'll give it an 8. You know what? I'll give it an 8.5. I really do like it. I think it's a solid first entry, and I'm looking forward to the rest.